Greeting interwebs, this is Jackie K and welcome to Amiibo Show. Specifically the stories of my first Amiibos. I told you guys I'd be giving these backstories a long time ago, so I'm glad I'm finally able to deliver on that promise, quote unquote. I decided to do it a little differently than how I normally do Amiibo Show. It might be more appropriate to go back to the old style in the future, but while I'm talking about my Amiibos, why not show off them in gameplay? Plus it'll allow me to commentate in an environment that I'm more comfortable in. If you enjoy the matches that you're seeing on screen, I'll have a link to them without any commentary or possibly edits on top of them in the description of the video. This first video is going to be a bit longer because I actually got multiple Amiibos at the same exact time for my first Amiibo. If you couldn't guess, that's because my first Amiibos were a Christmas gift. I believe last Christmas, to be exact. It's hard to believe that the whole Amiibo craze, especially from my perspective, isn't even a year old yet. Almost feels like a part of me already. So, as I was saying, on Christmas, I got 4 Amiibos. These 4 Amiibos were HeroCon, my Digcon Amiibo, Kirbybo, the Kirby Amiibo, and Eclipse, the Pikachu Amiibo, as well as Yoshio, the Yoshi Amiibo. I think you can figure out which ones are on screen currently. While I don't remember exact details of who got me the Kirby and Yoshi Amiibos, I do remember that Digcon in particular was a gift from No One. But No One is just a family fun name we have in-house for Santa Claus. For you see, in our household we have this little tradition where the gifts from Santa Claus are never signed. So it would always be to this person from blank. And somehow, over at least the past couple of years, maybe more, it just evolved into a nickname of, it's from nobody, because it's not signed with any name. It's a bit funny in our place. So HeroCon was from nobody, and it was the one Amiibo I wanted the most. After all, Diddy was my favorite character. It still is one of my favorite characters from all the games I played, and media in general. So you can imagine my excitement when I opened it up and saw that the Amiibo was in there. The other way I can really talk about the origins of getting it is Eclipse the Pikachu. Not only did I get it from a member of my family, it's the one that we kind of go between the most. Eclipse is the first Amiibo I raised up to level 50. And we did some pretty crazy stuff with it, like did a lot of free-for-all matches, so it might battle a little bit weirdly. I know it at least was battling weirdly at one time or another. But not only did we all have battles with it together, my sister actually came up with the customization idea for Eclipse. And I'll throw a photo up if I remember. But it basically, my little sister found My Little Pet Shops, or Littlest Pet Shops, goggles, and they actually fit right on it, so that was actually the first uses of customs. My other family members were working with customs before I even got into them. Next I wanted to talk about HeroCon because HeroCon was essentially the first Amiibo that I trained. I even trained it without giving it any sort of the equipment upgrades. I looked up guys, followed them to try to train them the best I could. But alas, he was still the first one I trained, so he may seem a bit wonky, especially compared to the other Amiibos that actually got fed equipment. I don't know, I guess I was trying to be a vanilla. Have at least one vanilla Amiibo or something like that that could be competitive. But still, I do like HeroCon if only because it's an amiibo of my favorite character. And in hindsight, the holidays were right when DiddyCon was coming out. I don't know if he was even officially released yet. But they were still able to get for me for Christmas, so that only made me appreciate the gift even more. I think after HeroCon I'll talk about Kuribo. He's kind of like one of the ones that are just there, although so far he seems to be one of the best amiibos in my collection in fighting. He actually was able to beat what I thought and consider my most powerful amiibo a couple times. We'll talk more about that amiibo when we actually get to it in the collection of amiibo stories. Last but not least is Yoshio. Don't really get anything particular to talk about. It's just one of the ones I got during Christmas. Not necessarily the character I've had the most favorite time with, and not necessarily any special stories of how I got it. But there is something special about Yoshio. He's really my first customized amiibo, like the first one I actually sat down and paint. So looking back, it does result in the paint job being less than fabulous. Hindsight, I definitely have improved with the customs, but it was still my first, so that's still something worth bringing up on its own. What's also kind of cool about Yoshio is when I went to Con Bravo, I made a bunch of little amiibo stands to get signed by YouTubers and internet personnels that I enjoyed watching, or at least was familiar with, and if you couldn't guess by the fact that it was Yoshi, Yoshio was the one that I put Nintendo Capri Sun's signature underneath. These 4 amiibos started something that continues to this day, although I feel like I'm nowhere near as intensive with amiibo collecting as I once was. Probably good for the sake of my wallet. But I wouldn't even be making this video series today if it wasn't for these 4 amiibos becoming a part of my collection, so it's worth talking about them. Hope you all enjoyed this little amiibo story. Don't really got too much else to talk about, but I feel kind of bad just cutting it off here. Think. I guess I have no choice but to commentate the rest of this like a spectator. So ladies and gentlemen, let's watch this rumble! Our competitors are evenly matched. HeroCon and Yoshio, at least in stock. Between you and me though, HeroCon is kinda on the better end of things. Can he get by with that drag combo though? Nobody knows. They're just exchanging aerials at the current moment. Although HeroCon is spicing up the action with his projectiles in combination with his down smash. Despite the little standoff here, HeroCon's just struggling to get by the stage to get that clean hit off on Yoshio. Those platforms are just perfectly timed to keep him from becoming victorious over his enemy. They seem to help Yoshio more than harm. Yoshio is not showing any mercy, no, despite the situation. Way down in the corner there. Footstooling for the insult, folks! Did you see that amiibo insult, folks? Nevertheless, HeroCon is still hanging on. Still struggling to get that final blow to finish off Yoshio. And this is only the second stock, folks. And there's a clean hit. Finally, someone got head off. Oh wait, is Yoshi's end coming? Nah, just kidding guys. There's no way Yoshio would be foolish enough to meet his demise so quickly. He's too happy to be better. While Yoshio shows off his handy luck, HeroCon goes in to rack up the damage by camping and standing in one place. They're good in their evasion games, but this fight won't go anywhere unless someone gets damage off on the other. And there goes Yoshio, almost sending Hirokon to his demise. But alas, it's not enough to finish him off. One clean smash would be enough for Shoryu. And there's the smash, folks! And we are back down in even stocks, and despite how long it took for Hirokon to go down, their health is pretty well even. This is still anyone's game. Looks like Shoryu is taking a bit of a beating, folks. Sadly for him, there's nowhere to run. Hirokon's just gonna keep following behind, striking at every possible means. Is it possible for Yoshio to possibly turn things around? Who knows? Let's find out. So far they're exchanging blows, but jumping out of the way, because they're amiibos that aren't trained by the professionals of professionals. They somehow think that jump equals a shield, or a dodge. Don't get me started on those rolls, folks. Looks like that flutter jump up smash combo practically caught Yoshio back up. Is there still hope for Hirokon to pull out a victory? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. After those 4 amiibos, the next one I can remember getting was of Princess Peach, Shortcake My Peach amiibo. I'll give you more about that one in the next amiibo backstory. Feel free to comment about what you enjoyed about this series. I'm always looking forward to feedback. That's about all I got, so just enjoy the rest of this battle and take care. Yeah, it's kinda ironic, but I feel like Diddy Kong loses a lot despite being one I trained specifically for combat.